The stark contrast in the beauty of a mother-of-pearl watch dial and its complexity in manufacturing have always been a duality to me that have brought a lot of interest, and I have here the Venezianico Nereide Tungsteno mother-of-pearl to check out today. Let's get on with the video and talk about why I think mother-of-pearl dials are a little bit underrated, unappreciated, and I think worthy of your attention. Before we get into the video, I do want to just do a quick wrist check here. I have the Unimatic U18B on my wrist. This is a discontinued heritage release. Just wanted to show the fact that I love Italian watch design. They know a thing or two about making a compelling and beautiful watch. The special guest we have on our channel today is the Venezianico Tungsteno Nerid 39, and I think it's a beautiful expression of a dress dive watch, and that's exactly the category of watch this is. Let's talk about the complexity of a mother-of-pearl dial. It does require drilling into a mollusk shell and getting to the iridescent layer that's underneath, which is a dangerous process as the dust generated during drilling is extremely fine and sharp. It could damage one's windpipe, and so taking extra precautions is paramount. The addition to that is it requires delicate handling of the iridescent inner shell, whereby the polishing will have to take place to smooth out and get a uniform surface, then the eventual process of dyeing the inner layer of the iridescent shell to get the achieved color as well. The end result is a stunning combination of iridescent colors with complex textures that shine brilliantly under all lighting conditions. The Nerid Tungsteno 39 does have 200 meters of water resistance due to a very easy to operate screw down crown, and the Miota 9039 underneath the dial beating away at 4 Hz and roughly under 42 hours of power reserve. It is chosen as a movement that can achieve great accuracy with some regulation. Now the website suggests that this is a 39mm wide watch from the side of the case, just underneath the bezel, and the lug width does measure in at 20mm wide, which means it should complement a variety of different strap combinations. You should have no problem finding a 20mm strap within your collection. It does taper down from 20mm at the end link to roughly 16mm at the butterfly clasp. Now, the measurement that I care about the most has to be the thickness of the case, only at 10.6mm from the top of the crystal to the bottom of the caseback. Now, I did measure the lug-to-lug distance at 45.5mm, and the crown is a generously sized one at only 6.8mm wide. I think it's going to be a very well-balanced, proportionate crown to the rest of the case. Now, what we have here is the Canova Concept bracelet, which has these high-polished center links. It is entirely a two-piece construction, as you can see. The bracelet flows as if it is more of a bracelet intended for a dress watch or an integrated sport bracelet watch than it is for a dive watch. Now, that has its benefits. The first benefit being the lightweight feeling of the bracelet, yet still having strength and rigidity within the links. The butterfly clasp is a little bit tricky to operate as one end has to come down and the other overlaps with the link closing on top of it. It certainly is a very unique design for a dive watch in terms of a bracelet choice, and it is a bold choice at that for the watch. The bezel insert is made entirely of tungsten, which means that in its hardness, it's nearly as tough as ceramic, if not tougher. The crack resistance of it is higher than ceramic, and it will not fade. It will endure its color and luster over the years. The bezel action is positive, 120 clicks, and each detent is positive, minimal backplay, and I think that it is a handsome bezel insert that plays with the light, often appearing darker under low light and very sleek and shiny under bright lighting conditions. It might even be a bit of a fingerprint magnet. The caseback engraving is of the Nautilus class submarine that was quite famous in the Italian Royal Navy, known as the Nereide. It was used during World War I, built between the years of 1911 to 1913 at the Navy Yard at Venice. Knowing that Venezianico does have its historic roots from Venice, it makes sense to reference such a historic submarine to use for this dive watch. My wrist size is roughly 6.4 inches wide, and that means that at 39mm and 45.5mm lug-to-lug width, it is a good sized watch for my wrist. I love the interplay of light on the dial. It is probably the standout feature as to why I would choose this watch as a dress diver. And what does that even mean? I think dress dive watches are ones that you are able to wear throughout the vigors of daily life, to the office, to dinner functions, anywhere you please. And I find that the combination of the blue color versus the tungsten bezel is remarkably perfect in pairing. It reminds me of what I think the Tudor Black Bay 54, with the more recent Blue Lagoon release, having a steel bezel insert. That watch should have had a tungsten bezel insert, just as we see here. Pricing is very competitive at 627 euros, or roughly 1100 Canadian dollars or so. That means that in terms of the use of Miyota 9039 and an exceptional dial with 200 meter water resistance, it is just in line with what the average micro brand is pricing their dive watches these days. Now, I think that case finishing, the fact that you get a beautiful signed crown, and all of the fine detail work that's been done on the case, the ease of operation of the crown, the exceptional movement and dial, it is a compelling argument to say that if you want a nice dress diver that might be able to fit all occasions with a beautiful, brilliant blue dial that seems to never fade under low lighting conditions, it still is quite bright blue. And that's something to be said. I've sampled sunburst dials. I've also sampled enamel dials in a variety of dress watches and dive watches. Mother of Pearl maintains its luster throughout different lighting conditions. Now, since this is a watch that does have applied indices with lume plots filled with BGW9, we can expect that the lume to be pretty decently bright, and upon activation, it is evidently so. I think that it could use more layers of BGW9 for even additional brightness and longevity. Lume is about middle of the road to me, just above average. I do enjoy the fact that the triangle at 12 o'clock is also lumed and color matched to the dial as well, with a bit of a blue accenting. Now, if you like today's video, please like the video, comment, and I will definitely catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.